everyone, my name's Steph, and today I'm reading a story called Why I Stopped Narrating Stories on YouTube by the mind of Mikey from Reddit. I started narrating stories on YouTube because after sending every story I wrote to all the big names and a few lesser known names, I got no response. No thank you for sending them, no your story sucks, just nothing. I won't mention who they are, but most of you should know who I'm talking about. Although one big name did read one of my stories, which I was really thankful for, it wasn't my best work. This went on for a while, and after months of frustration, I finally realised it wasn't going to happen. So I decided to narrate my own stories, create a YouTube channel, pick a name, and post them myself. How hard could it be? So that's what I did. My stories were good, at least I thought so. To my surprise, a few people actually liked them, and after a while asked if I would narrate their stories. Wow, really? Okay. They would send them to me via email, which I gave them, and I would narrate their stories, and that's how the ball started rolling. I was talking to a co-worker one day about narrating my stories for fun, and they suggested I check out an app called Reddit and search short scary stories and no sleep. They said that they'd posted a few stories on there and thought it would be perfect for me, so I checked it out. I created an account and started my search. There I found all kinds of amazing stories, contacted some of the authors through comments and messages and asked their permission if I could read their stories. Most were cool with it, although I did get a few rejections. I just kept on asking. Always ask permission. Things were going great. I was narrating amazing stories, people were liking them, and I even earned enough karma on Reddit to start my own community. I decided to use it for people to send stories to, and people actually did. All the while, I still searched other communities for stories to read. That was until I found that story. I should have known by the username that it wasn't going to be a good idea, and I'm not going to mention the name of it because it still sends chills up my spine just thinking about it, and I'm shaking as I write this. It was about 1 a.m. Insomnia had set in, and I was sitting at my dining room table searching Reddit when I found that story, and it just blew me away. It had it all: drama, suspense, emotion, everything. I contacted the author through a personal message asking permission, except for some reason this time I signed it with my real name and not my stage name. Big mistake. I realised what I did, but it was too late and had already sent it. Anyway, mere seconds went by and I received a reply. Yes, I've been waiting for this. Thinking they'd been waiting for someone to read one of their stories just like I was, I replied, thank you, and planned to go on with my night, until I received my own personal message from the author. Hi, my name's Susan. Wanna talk? I figured, what the hell? I wasn't doing anything else. What could it hurt? So I sent back, sure. After about 30 minutes of conversation, I found out that the author was female, we both liked Stephen King, we both love horror stories, and we both live in the USA, only a few states away from each other. I started to get tired, so I let her know, and we ended the conversation, both saying goodnight. I was lying in bed, almost asleep, when I got a message from her saying, I'm glad to have someone like you to talk to. I missed that. I shrugged it off and went to sleep. A couple of days went by, and I came home from work and found a note on the door, and it said, Hi, sorry I missed you. Love, Susan. What the hell? Love? I only talked to her for like half an hour. How'd she get my address? What the hell did I get myself into? I took the note off the door and quickly went inside, locking it behind me and calling the police. I told them the story, but they said that there was nothing they could do until an actual crime had been committed. Yeah, that's reassuring. I hung up from them and tried to do my normal routine. Make coffee, get changed, drink the coffee, and so on. I couldn't get the note out of my head. And then the doorbell rang. I froze, deciding to slowly walk towards the window to see who it was. It was a woman. She was 5.5 feet tall, and wearing tattered, dirty clothes with long, stringy brown hair. It looked like she hadn't bathed in a month. I knew it was Susan. I had to end this now, before it turned ugly, and ugly it turned. I opened the door and said, "Look, Susan, I don't know what you think is going on, but I just wanted to read your story. That's it. I'm sorry if you thought that there was more, but there isn't. Go home." I shut the door and walked back into the house. She screamed like a wild woman. She started pounding on the door and screaming, "I love you, I love you." I ran to the phone to call 911. A rock or a brick or something came crashing through the front window. I turned and saw that the crazy woman was climbing into my house and screaming, "Read my story! Read my story!" The shards of glass from the broken window cutting her as she climbed in, blood on the window and the floor. 911, what's your emergency? This crazy woman is in... She charged, slamming into me, knocking me over the desk and falling to the floor herself. She was kicking and screaming like a lunatic. I got up and, with the phone still in my hand, smashed it against her temple as she started to get up too. I don't hit women, but this one had it coming. Her eyes rolled into the back of her head, the screaming stopped, and she fell to the floor, unconscious. I heard sirens outside, and I guessed that the 911 operator heard it all. The cops came and took my statement. They made me stay outside while the paramedics tended to Susan, if that's even her real name. The cops put her in cuffs, and the paramedics took her to the ambulance. On her way out, she looked at me and laughingly said, "I'll be waiting." They put her inside the ambulance and left. The cops finished up and did the same. I was left with a broken door, broken window, blood all over the place, a broken desk, and a broken phone. All over a bloody story. I'm done. I moved out that night. I left all my stuff behind and I slept in my car until payday and then rented a room off a co-worker. And I never narrated another story ever again. So, if any of my subscribers are reading this and wondered what happened to me, now you know. And that's the end of the story. So that was Why I Stopped Narrating Stories on YouTube by The Mind of Mikey on Reddit. My name's Steph, and thank you for checking out my video. If you have a story you'd like me to read, please leave a comment below. And if you could just drop a like if you did enjoy the video, that would be really appreciated as well. Thank you. Catch you in the next one. Bye.